Everywhere was in chaos as the girls in Madonna High School rushed out of their classroom running to the school's toilet. A girl had just given birth in the toilet, something that has never happened in their school. Once upon a time, in a small town named Alakija, there lived a young woman called Yemisi. She was a single mother who had a beautiful daughter named Bisola. She dedicated her life to raising her daughter with strong values, discipline and love. Bisola was her pride and joy, the light of her life. Yemisi would often boast to her friends about how well behaved and responsible Bisola was. Bisola was so well behaved and respectful. She made sure she always do things that makes her mother happy. At just 14 years old, Bisola was attending an all-girls school known for its strict rules and high academic standards. It was the best in town, Madonna High School, a school every parent wants their girl child to attend. Yemisi never had any reason to doubt Bisola, her daughter, because she trusted her completely. Bisola would always remain in her room each time she returned from school. She's either reading or sleeping. Her mother was so proud of her, thanking God her daughter was not rebellious like other teenage kids. Bisola, with her innocent face, had managed to maintain a perfect image in her mother's eyes. She did so well in school and never missed her curfew. Yemisi, busy with her demanding job and juggling the responsibilities of their household, was grateful to have such an understanding and mature daughter. She would often say, "I'm so lucky to have a daughter like mine. She knows how hard I work and she respects that." But Yemisi was all wrong. She didn't know that beneath Bisola's sweet exterior, there was another side, a side that she kept hidden from her mother and the rest of the world. Bisola was a pretender. Whenever she was done with classes, she would go to a nearby boarding school where her boyfriend attends to see him. Bisola had met him one day in church and they became friends and started dating. She was madly in love with him. He was too intoxicating to resist. One day, Yemisi returned back from work and met her daughter singing and looking very happy while washing plates. Yemisi then jokingly teased her daughter as she said to her, "Bisola, what's making you so happy like this? Hope you won a lottery." Oh." They both laughed as Yemisi went to her room. If only Yemisi knew that it was a boy that was making her daughter happy. "Bisola, Bisola," Yemisi called out her daughter's name as she came out of her room. "There is no cold water in the fridge. Everything seems melted. What happened?" "Mama," Bisola replied, "our unit finished though." "Oh my God, but I paid for light bill just last month. What kind of rubbish is this now? I worked so hard only to finish my little salary on light bills." "So how was school today?" Yemisi asked. It was just there. Oh, nothing serious happened." Yemisi raised her eyebrows as she looked at her daughter and smiled. "Hope school is not stressing you." "Mama, me, Bisola, school stress me. It's not possible. I love school very well and you know that." "That's my girl," said Yemisi as she smiled and left. Months went by and Yemisi began to notice some changes in her daughter. Bisola started wearing baggy clothes and saying it was the latest fashion. She even secretly got a tattoo without her mother knowing. One day, Yemisi had just returned from work and saw how dirty the whole house was, with clothes and plates littered everywhere. She found Bisola sleeping on a chair. She then called out her name. "Bisola, wake up. Are you okay? Why is everywhere so unkempt?" Bisola stretched her body and yawned. "Mom, I'm sorry. I slept off. I was going to arrange the whole house." Yemisi looked at her daughter without uttering a word. She then told her to clean up. But then, She noticed how chubby and tired Bisola looked, and her chest looking fuller. But hear me sing. Trusting her daughter's implicity never thought to question these changes deeply. She would tell herself that Bisola was just growing up and that it was just part of being a teenager. But the truth was far more serious. Bisola was pregnant, and she had known for months. Terrified of what her mother would think, she had hidden it as best as she could, wearing looser clothes and making excuses for her fatigue. Bisola hadn't told anyone, not even the boy she secretly goes to see after school. She was in denial, hoping that somehow it would all just go away, but it didn't. One fateful afternoon, as Bisola was sitting in her class, she felt a sharp pain in her abdomen. It was so intense that she doubled over, clutching her decks. Bisola could not stand the pain anymore as she felt a strong urge to pee. Trying to hold back the tears, the pain was unbearable. She ran straight to the school's restroom. As her other classmates looked at her with confusion, one of her classmates, being concerned, followed Bisola minutes later. On reaching there, she saw what her eyes could not believe. Bisola was carrying a newborn baby in her hands and sitting on the floor. She had just given birth. The girl let out a scream, calling for help, as the other girls began to gather in the school's toilets. The school was in chaos, and the principal immediately called Mrs. Yemisi, who was in the middle of a meeting. She thought it was something minor, but when she answered the call and heard the urgency in the principal's voice, she felt a chill run down her spine. "You need to come to the school immediately," the principal said. "It's about Bisola." Yemisi's heart raced as she drove to the school. When she arrived, she went straight to the principal's office. The scene that greeted her was one she would never forget. There was Bisola, her daughter, sitting in a chair, pale and exhausted, holding a tiny newborn baby in her arms. Then the principal said to Mrs. Yemisi, "Your daughter here gave birth in school." "My daughter did what?" Yemisi shouted. Her sweet, innocent Bisola, who she had trusted so completely, had been pregnant without her knowing. Yemisi tried to comprehend what had happened, how she had missed all the signs, from the baggy clothes Bisola would always wear and the tiredness. "Bisola, Bisola," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. How how could you do this? How did this happen?" Bisola looked up at her mother, her eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry, Mom," Bisola said, her voice trembling. "I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to disappoint you." "Will you shut up?" Yemisi shouted. "So after everything I did for you, providing all your needs, working myself to death just to make sure you are comfortable, this is how you want to repay me? Bisola, I trusted you." "Bisola, you're very wicked. You're ungrateful. Just look at how you've disgraced me. You're just 14. How do you want to take care of a child? We are struggling to survive, talk more of feeding another mouth." "Bisola, Bisola, why now? Why?" Before Yemisi could finish her word, she fainted, and the school principal, the teachers, and Bisola rushed to her. The lesson of this story is that while being too focused in work, also remember that your family needs you. Pay attention to your children and know when to start asking questions about their life and well-being. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.